Northern Cardinal. European colonists named this bird after Roman Catholic bishops because of its bright red plumage. The gesture was deeply ironic. The bird is not celibate. It is highly aggressive and aggressively monogamous. Male northern cardinals possess a territorial drive that borders on clinical insanity. They routinely spend hours attacking their own reflections in glass windows and car mirrors. They fight these imaginary rivals until they suffer brain damage or physical exhaustion. The species owes its iconic crimson hue to carotenoid pigments found in its diet of berries and seeds. If a cardinal starves or eats suboptimal organic matter, its feathers fade into a depressing shade of dirty pink.
Humanity capitalized on this avian rage by adopting the bird as a mascot for numerous sports teams. These franchises use the bird's violent tendencies to sell merchandise to distracted consumers. The bird also stars on millions of cheap Christmas cards every December. It brings festive cheer to people who would otherwise ignore its existence in their own backyards. Humans destroyed its natural woodland habitats, but the cardinal adapted. It thrived in suburban lawns, exploiting artificial feeders filled with cheap sunflower seeds.
Puroloxia. Often called the desert cardinal, this bird lives in the scorching scrublands of the American Southwest and northern Mexico. Its name derives from Greek words meaning fire-colored and crooked billed. The bird resembles a standard cardinal that survived a chemical plant explosion. It traded the classic crimson suit for a utilitarian gray coat with sparse red accents. Its heavy, curved beak functions as a high-pressure tool. This beak exerts massive crushing force to crack open ironwood seeds and desiccated desert pods. During the summer, the desert cardinal endures temperatures exceeding 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It survives by panting rapidly and reducing its metabolic rate. It does not migrate. It chooses to suffer in the desert year-round. While other birds flee south, the desert cardinal defends its dry patch of dirt. It fiercely guards its territory against intruders. Humans occasionally try to attract them to desert homes with water fountains. The birds use these oasis setups to wash off dirt before returning to their harsh, dry routines. It remains a grim testament to survival in an environment that actively wants everything dead. Vermilion cardinal. This species lives in the dry coastal scrub of northern Colombia and Venezuela. It possesses an impossibly tall, spiked crest pointing forward as a sharp horn. Its plumage is an intense, saturated pinkish red. This striking aesthetic is its biological curse. The bird is a prime target for the international illegal pet trade. Smugglers trap wild vermilion cardinals to sell them to collectors who keep them in tiny wire cages. The stress of captivity often stops them from singing, but buyers keep buying them anyway. In the wild, the bird survives by eating dry adapted insects and cactus fruits. It navigates thorny acacia bushes with extreme agility to avoid predators. Habitat destruction for agricultural expansion further reduces its already limited geographic range. Local governments pass conservation laws that they lack the resources to enforce. Consequently, the wild population continues to decline, while private collectors boast about their captive specimens on internet forums. The species survives primarily as a highly valued commodity in black market economies. It is valued more for its aesthetic misery than its ecological role. Red-crested cardinal. This bird is a biological lie. It is not a member of the cardinal family. It is actually a tanager. 18th-century taxonomists observed its bright red head and crest and decided to ignore biological accuracy for convenience. The bird is native to South America, specifically Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, and Paraguay. Humans introduced the species to Hawaii in the late 1920s. It quickly colonized the islands, displacing native bird species that lacked resistance to foreign avian malaria. The red-crested cardinal is highly habituated to humans. It patrols park benches, beaches, and outdoor cafes to steal breadcrumbs and French fries.
Tourists feed them constantly, unaware that they are subsidizing an invasive species. The bird's red head contrasts sharply with its clean white belly and gray back, making it highly photogenic. This visual appeal protects it from eradication programs. People refuse to cull beautiful invaders, even when those invaders damage local ecosystems. The bird continues to expand its range across the Pacific Islands. It relies entirely on tourist waste and human taxonomic ignorance to secure its global survival.
Yellow cardinal. The yellow cardinal is a critically endangered species native to the open woodlands of Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. It swapped the traditional red pigments of its cousins for a bright yellow and olive green color scheme. This unique coloration made it incredibly popular among cage bird enthusiasts in South America. Decades of relentless poaching destroyed the wild population. Trappers set sticky glue traps on branches to capture males, who sing loudly to defend territory. The captured birds are sold in illegal street markets for high prices. Today, fewer than 2,000 individuals remain in the wild. The species suffers from extreme habitat fragmentation due to eucalyptus plantations and cattle ranching. As the wild population shrinks, the birds face an inbreeding crisis. They produce fewer viable offspring each year. Conservationists attempt to breed them in captivity, but the program is expensive and slow. Meanwhile, wealthy collectors continue to buy poached specimens to display in private aviaries. The yellow cardinal is rapidly singing its way toward extinction. Its primary defense mechanism, its beautiful song, is the exact tool that trappers use to locate and capture it. Rose-breasted grosbeak. This bird belongs to the cardinal family, despite lacking the word cardinal in its common name. The male resembles a survivor of a gunshot wound to the chest. It has a stark black and white body with a bright triangular patch of rose-red feathers on its breast. The female looks entirely different, resembling an oversized streaky brown sparrow. This extreme sexual dimorphism helps the female blend into trees while nesting. The species is highly migratory. It breeds in the cool forests of Canada and the northern United States, then flies thousands of miles to spend the winter in Central and South America. During these long flights, the birds frequently crash into illuminated skyscrapers at night. Voluminous citizen science data tracks these collisions, recording thousands of deaths annually. Those that survive the journey face deforestation in their wintering grounds. Humans clear Latin American forests to grow shade-free coffee, destroying the bird's winter habitat. The bird attempts to adapt by feeding on ornamental suburban plants during migration. It relies on the charity of suburban homeowners who hang suet feeders in their yards. Dick Sissel. This bird possesses one of the most ridiculous names in ornithology. It is a small grassland bird that belongs to the cardinal family, though it closely resembles a miniature meadowlark. It has a yellow breast, a gray back, and a black V-shaped patch on its throat. The species is highly nomadic. It nests in the native prairies of the American Midwest, but its breeding locations shift wildly from year to year based on rainfall and seed availability. In the winter, millions of dick sissels gather in massive, swirling flocks to migrate to the agricultural plains of Venezuela. These massive flocks descend on commercial grain fields, consuming metric tons of rice and sorghum. Venezuelan farmers view them as destructive pests. For decades, farmers sprayed highly toxic pesticides directly onto roosting flocks, killing millions of birds in a single night. This chemical warfare severely reduced their global numbers. Although international conservation agreements now discourage mass poisoning, the bird still faces habitat loss from industrial agriculture. It remains trapped in a cycle of migration, crop destruction, and human retaliation across 2 continents. Blue grosbeak. The blue grosbeak is another cardinal relative that chose a different color palette. The male is wrapped in deep, iridescent blue feathers with chestnut-colored wing bars. The female is a dull, uniform brown. This species inhabits brushy fields and roadside thickets across the southern United States and Mexico. It possesses a massive conical beak designed to crush grasshoppers and cicadas. The blue grosbeak has a bizarre nesting habit. It frequently weaves shed snakeskins into the outer walls of its nest. Biologists believe this is a deliberate strategy to terrify potential predators, such as squirrels and mice. If snakeskin is unavailable, the bird will substitute clear plastic wrappers or cellophane trash. This adaptation highlights the pervasive nature of human pollution in rural ecosystems. The bird's blue color is not caused by pigment, but by microscopic structures in the feathers that scatter light. If you crush a blue grosbeak feather, it turns gray. The bird's beautiful appearance is an optical illusion. It spends its life singing from power lines, surrounded by plastic trash and fake snakeskins.